part of this ablution, washing the hands, the mouth, nose, face, wiping wet hands on the hair, arms to the elbows, washing the feet to the ankles. This requires that water get to all of these body parts which are to be washed. When the Prophet ﷺ saw a man making wudu, and he left a part from his heel which was dry, he told him to go back and make his wudu again, and warned of the heels being left out so that they would end up in the hellfire. Because the person would be then going to make prayer without wudu, meaning that the prayer becomes invalid. So, we can say that anything, whether it is nail polish, nail varnish, or it is some paint, this issue comes up with painters, people working in the painting profession, they paint gets on their body parts, and it coats parts of the skin. Can they make wudu with this? No. They must remove that paint before making wudu. So, but if I'm making wudu, trying to get this off my hands, I missed the prayer. Believe that if you have taken the necessary precautions, and you've gone to the place on time, but you got delayed in removing this so that you can make a proper wudu, that the reward for praying on time will still be yours. The reward for praying on time will still be yours. Once a person makes an intention and makes the necessary effort to make the prayer on time in the congregation, but other factors have stopped them. These other factors have stopped them, which are outside of their control, whatever. This will not deny them the reward of praying in congregation on time. This is the person who sleeps through Salat al-Fajr. Though they made all the efforts they could, they set their alarm clock, everything else, but they just didn't hear it. Didn't wake up until after sunrise. When they pray the prayer now, pray the morning prayer, Fajr prayer, they will get the reward of one who prayed it on time. Because they made the intention to pray it on time, but something beyond their control, deep sleep, stopped them from doing so. So Allah is going to reward the person according to their intention. إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. Deeds are judged according to their intentions. So, back to the issue of a person praying with anything on their body, whether it is creams or whatever, which create such a layer, or makeup, these kind of things which can create such a layer that water can no longer get to the body part. Such a thing has to be removed for wudu or the minor ablution to be done in an acceptable way. Now some people raise the question, what about henna? Which was used in the time of the Prophet ﷺ. People put it on their hands, put it in their hair, put it in their beards. What about this? Doesn't this prevent wudu also? No, because the henna is different from nail polish, creams, and these things. It's not a layer which sits over the skin. It is actually absorbed by the skin. It's not a layer, you can scratch this layer off. No. It's actually absorbed into the skin. So it doesn't prevent the water from actually getting to the skin. So henna is not considered as in the same category as these. So if a woman puts henna on the nails, for example, as part of putting it on the hands and partly on the nails, this is not going to affect her ability to perform or to do the ablution. The second question, which was that of a woman cutting her hair to the extent that her appearance looks like a woman, it is permissible. There is nothing in the Sunnah which prohibits a woman from cutting her hair. This is a strong tradition from the Indo-Pakistani subcontinent, where women, are not allowed to cut their hair. Actually, the root of this goes back into Hindu tradition, when women not cutting their hair. And if one looks into the Hindu tradition, one will find, exactly what is the reasons behind it. However, from the Islamic perspective, though women are encouraged, to grow their hair, at the same time, they cut it in Hajj and Umrah. They can cut their hair. And in general, they can cut their hair as long as the cutting does not make them look like a man. That is the main basis of prohibition for a woman to cut her hair. To cut it in male styles, the styles that are traditionally worn by males, This is not acceptable Islamically. This is what is forbidden. Because the imitation for a woman to look like a man in her dress and her appearance, she deliberately creates this. This is forbidden in Islam. Prophet ﷺ said, Allah curses the woman who dresses like the man and the man who dresses like the woman. And it's so much so that on one occasion, Aisha, a woman came and she was wearing her husband's shoes. And Aisha mentioned to her, the same hadith, that to wear shoes, which are men's shoes, in public, outside, this is something prohibited in Islam. And it's something we need to reflect on, because the fashion industry today is bent on making women look like men and making men look like women. Some of the latest styles which are coming out for this summer, you see very flowery, female-looking garments which are being produced for the males, and masculine-type garments. This has been a tradition over the last 10, 15 years. The women wearing three-piece suits, brogue shoes, bowler caps, and ties, and things which are traditionally men's dresses being put into female design for women to wear. And we have to understand that, unfortunately, the fashion industry in the West is controlled mainly by homosexuals who prefer or strive to blur the gap or the difference and distinction between males and females, because this facilitates their lifestyle where men are relating with other men, women are relating with women. There's no difference. You can be a switch hitter, you can be, sometimes with men, sometimes with women. It doesn't really matter. It's all the same. This is the animal life. This is back to the jungle. This is how dogs function. Animals function. Of course, one says, well, they're saying, well, that's what we are, aren't we? We're animals. Well, that is that mentality, the evolutionary mentality, where we as human beings are just mere animals. So, when we go swimming, when we go to the beach, why wear clothes? We have nudist beaches. We have nudist clubs. We have nudist parks. This is back to nature. Back to what nature? This is not the nature, really, of the human being that has been given a sense which is higher than that of animals, a sense of shyness, to want to cover one's private parts, which animals don't have. They don't have it because they were created without it. We are, yes, we have an animal aspect to us, but with our spirit, with our soul, we are on a higher level. So we are different from the animals. We cannot base our activities, whether social or whatever, sexual, on the basis of what animals do. This is a very distorted kind of view of human beings, and unfortunately, this view is what now dominates many of the world's trends, whether it's in fashion, it's in the movies, in the magazines, or whatever. You find that strong, dominating homosexual interest, which is affecting much of the world. So much so that the kind of speech that I'm using now, describing this, and really, obviously, expressing my objection to homosexuality, this is considered to be wrong. I am considered to be sick. I need to see a psychiatrist, according to the Western view today. I am homophobic. This is my illness, my mental illness. I have a dislike for homosexuality and homosexuals. This is considered to be an illness, which 30 years ago was not considered to be an illness because everybody felt that way. The majority of people felt that way. And those who were considered to be sick and needed the psychiatrist were the homosexuals. They're the ones who were considered to be sick. But in the past period of the last 30 years, the whole situation has been turned upside down. So those who detest homosexuality are now considered sick. and those who are homosexuals are considered to be normal. Such is the case. Anyway, back to our actual issue. Sorry to divert so much, but these are some of the burning issues of our times, which we do need to reflect on. When we look at issues of appearance and dress and these kind of things, that there are factors behind these things. We need to understand the factors. Not just look at it on the surface, but what's the harm? There are trends. These are world trends that are at play in our societies and are affecting the ways of thinking of both males and females and children. Generations are growing up, being unclear, being opened up for this deviant kind of behavior. So, in conclusion, it is permissible for a woman to cut her hair as long as she doesn't look like a man. With that, dear viewers, I'd like to thank you for being with us in this segment of our program, In the Light of Islam. You may get a hold of us, myself, at P.O. Box 111, Sharjah Television, Sharjah, UAE. You may email at fld3@hotmail.com. You may call the Discover Islam office in Dubai, 04396-2190, or Dar al-Fatah Press, Islamic Press in Sharjah at 065339864. And both these numbers, you can get a hold of me or somebody in the office who can answer your questions or you can leave questions. And you may fax at 065323724. We welcome your questions, and we hope to try to help you answer them, find answers for them in these programs which have been provided by Sharjah Television for your benefit. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.